Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name's Pam Stewart. I'm an author of young adult science fiction and fantasy, and today we're gonna write live. How are you guys today? So good to see everybody. I'm gonna hang out here for a second and get my bearings and prepare for the next work hour or so. We usually go about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on if we got the flow going. Tonight, I have my Doctor Who mug, and you can see when you put hot stuff in it, it sends the TARDIS into space. And I'm also going with my chocolate mint tea again, so that's yum. I am still off of extra sugar and extra flour, so I'm still a little bit draggy, but I'm getting better. We are going to be doing a few live streams here, like sprints in a few minutes. So I just wanted to share with you that I have indeed finished the first edit of Cadet. The crowd goes wild. In my head, the crowd went totally wild. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Getting the first edit done is a relief. And it's kind of funny because I was doing like 10 and 12-hour days, so I got like deep into the weeds, and it was like I was living the story. I was working like 10 and 12 hours a day on it, so it was actually my ideal of what I thought a writer would be doing. So I learned a lot in the process. I learned that I'm more of a binge writer than a timed writer because it did not go well when I was trying to do the NaNoWriMo with the timed writing. I just need to finish a project. I need to pick a project and just go at it, just no breaks. Are you guys binge writers, would you say? Or are you more like slow and steady? I tell you what, I wish I was more of a slow and steady write every day, but I get a lot more done when I just like go at it hard. Okay, we got some people in the chat. Hello, 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 Barbara. Hello, hello. Oh, yeah. Angelica. You are sassy, Angelica. I like that. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very proud of it. And honestly, it's a monster. It's 150,000 words. So I'm definitely going to have to do another edit on it. But it does have 4 point of view characters. So I have to appreciate that each one of those characters have to have an arc. And each one of those characters needs a payoff unless it's a longer series. And then you can maybe pay that off in another book, which I found that one of my characters' arcs will probably pay off in the next book. Yeah, that is a lot of work, but that's the kind of stories. I tried to write really simple stories. I think I can do that when I'm writing short stories, but when it starts expanding, so does my imagination, and I want to give everyone a voice. Maybe I can do smaller sections of book. I don't know. I have to figure out a plan because writing 150,000 words. Oh, I stopped numbering them. I stopped numbering my chapters by the end because I was glad I did, because I had to combine a couple and I had to delete some things. So I was throwing off my numbering system. So I have to go back through and it's a lot. It's a lot. It was up to 75 when I stopped numbering. So, slow and steady. You know what? Like I said, I wish I was slow and steady. I think this staying at home more has taught me a lot about what I would be as a full-time writer. And I really am learning a lot about my process and when I'm the most productive, what time of day. And when I'm actually getting really good words done, because sometimes I'll just try to force myself and it just doesn't work. And then I'll wait till like after I eat or after I take a walk, and then the energy's back. I also take yoga breaks sometimes, and that like I just needed to get away from it and then get back in. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes in. I think we should probably start a sprint. I usually start with the 15-minuters to kind of warm up, unless somebody has any other ideas of what they would like to see. But I think 15 minutes, so get you into your projects and get you some good production and maybe an idea of where your story is going. Okay, let me do this timer. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I'm getting better. All right. Woo-hoo. There we go. Let's make it big. Okay, get your keyboards out. Flex your fingers. Get an idea of what you want to write, even if it's just a sentence or two. And go. Okay, that's time. You may look up from your papers now. How did you do? Getting anything done on a nice day like today is a win. So share your numbers. I got every chapter numbered. And so since Xanthe was curious about how many chapters, there are 96 chapters. And Xanthe unfriended me just now because she is one of my beta readers and critique partners. And I'm sure that she's probably groaning and hiding under her bed now. It will get smaller. I am working on condensing it down. Well, I hope you guys got a lot of words in that one. It was a lot of, my brain is still on overdrive from finishing this long edit. So, yay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so much. And yes, speaking of epic and stories and writing, I have a dilemma. My next project, until I get this fully edited and to my final editor, which will be the end of June, I'm going to still have to spend a lot of time on it, bringing it, the sentence level up, making sure all the storylines sing. But I'm going to have a little more time to create again. And I'm going to probably work on a short story. I'm having an issue picking the one. Woo! Look at that. That was a great number. Angelica got 653 words. That is phenomenal. I am so happy for you. What projects are you working on? Share them in the comments. I'd love to get excited for you. And I am really, really happy about this kind of word count because all I did was renumber chapters. So good on you. So my dilemma. I have an old short story series about next military droid with that grew a conscience. So I wrote 3 short stories, and I'm considering, which I'm getting a cover done. I want to, combine them into a collection and maybe add like a new short story to kind of get people who've already read the first 3 and more interested. But that series is sort of not performed as well as I would hoped. So I'm thinking that my time might be better served to do the short story I planned for my current series, which is Pirates in Space. And so like Battlestar Galactica, or like Star Wars meets Harry Potter, kind of young dynamic with going to the academy, very much like Aurora Rising and Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. So it's got a lot of those elements. So doing the short story would be a nice, I already in that world, and it would help me write book 3, which is coming probably, I'm going to be writing that in the fall. And I know that I'm getting that ready for the official NaNoWriMo. So I do need a project for July NaNoWriMo or Camp NaNoWriMo. I'm going to try to do it this time. If anyone out there does like July camp, raise your hand or raise your virtual hand. And woo, 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 go Eli. That's some good numbers. I am excited for your progress. That for 15 minutes, you motivate me. Aww. Oh, the 3rd book in a series. It's my first series and my first short story series. The last books were both the hardest and the easiest to write because in my mind, you feel like you have to bring your A game because you've built up this epic ending. Oh, she's battling monsters. I'm gonna have to learn to multitask to do these live streams. But the third book in my series, like I said, it because I felt like I had to pay it off so hard. It was a lot of work to make sure every storyline worked, but it was easy because the characters were so familiar. It was just like putting on gloves again or something that's very familiar, old shoes. So I don't know how you feel about writing series. This new series is the second books I found are the hardest so far. Battling monsters. Oh my gosh, that sounds epic. And it's probably fantasy, maybe? Are you working on a fantasy or an epic mashup? Because honestly, one of my favorite kinds of books are the ones that don't. I know everyone says to write in genre and honor your genre tropes. I don't know. I find books that bend the genre tropes to be the most exciting, in my honest opinion. So I'm hoping that's a fantasy, or you don't have monsters in your house. Or it could be cats. Usually I have a special guest star of my cat, Oliver. He is a white cat, and he knows that my touch screen works, that he can spin it. And he likes to do it right when I'm in the middle of the sprint. So, but I used my noggin today, and I gave him a little bit of catnip earlier. So he's snoozing. So I don't know. I have the two series I'm considering, or at least short stories, and I might just do both in July because they're both going to be fairly short. My short stories are never short. They're like 10 to 20,000. So they're both going to take, I mean, I guess I could do both of them, but I feel much more passionately, I think, about the space pirates. And I think that would probably prep me for the third book. But, you know, if you have any thoughts, leave it in the comments now or later on. If you're watching this, feel free to leave it in the comments. All right, we're coming on a half an hour. Is anybody ready to blow out some more words? Because I am. I'm actually doing outlining and fine editing, but, you know. I think since we did the 15-minute, I'm going to say, unless somebody has a suggestion, we do 20 this time. My sweet spot is 25, but I don't want to I think we got to work up like a runner does when they're learning to do the marathon. We have to kind of work our way up to the 20 and 25 minutes. So space pirates, I think they are cool. And I'm actually I'm already hearing the voices. I know, only you people would understand hearing the voices, but I do hear the voices already for this story. So, and it'll be short and poppy and fun to write. So I do think I might, yeah, I think I'm going to write this by, thank you for the input. Okay, so 20-minute sprint. Let me set that up now. We're going to see if I actually know what I'm doing here. Go. Yay! I'm finally working on this timer. It's highly technical. All right. I hope you've had time to get beverages and to get your head straight and to plot out in your head the next few words, because I think if you do a sentence or two before you start, it usually helps get that story flowing. So crack your knuckles. You can do it. You can do it. 20 minutes and go. time. So, how did you do? I meant to keep editing. I did not. I actually wrote 200 words in my new short story. Setting myself free to write about space pirates, come on. And this is a character that I'm really excited about. So I am just, and I love the writing process. I guess I love the writing process and I love the editing process. I love all of it. That's why I'm a writer, I guess. It all has its challenges. What is your biggest obstacle as a writer? Are you more of a, like, you enjoy the writing process, or do you like to fix it after, you got it out? Like, I used to be a perfectionist. Every chapter that I did, I would go back over, and I didn't have a clear plot, and I would just get stuck in first chapters and second chapters, and maybe get 10,000 words into something and it just not be able to move forward until I gave myself permission to just write whatever. And that still bothers me because I would love to have a more polished piece when I'm done. But I think that I need to not self-edit as I go because the story's there. I just don't have the words to get it out. Oh, bye, Xanthe. Thank you for coming. Have a good evening. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Oh my God. Angela, you are freaking amazing. That is a fantastic number. Holy guacamole. If I had a little crown for the most words in 15 minutes, I would give it to you. I'm going to have some kind of way to celebrate this. Da, 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 da. Most words will work. No. Double thumbs up. No. Yeah. Good job. Good job. Wow. I love when people get their words in. Best tea for dragon. That is good to know. And I will have to look into that. I'm actually really missing the tea house in Ann Arbor. I had only went there a couple of times before this, shutdown where we can't go. And now I'm actually craving me some loose leaf tea. I'm getting back into the teas because I'm trying to lower my caffeine. So they have such interesting blends there. I wonder if they even do like where you can pick it up or something. But Tea House is an Ann Arbor tea house, but it's Haus without the E. And they have like walls of loose leaf tea, and it's fantastic. And for any tea lovers out there, it's just fun to sit down and just like sip your tea and enjoy the world. Okay, so you prefer writing. I used to be that way until I took a class by Margie Lawson. She does some really great editing classes, and she gave me some techniques that I use now that make it really enjoyable. And now that I've done it for a long time, it comes very intuitively. And then how to deal with low energy. I guess I deal with that on a daily basis because I do have some seasonal affective disorder and as well as like some low-grade depression. But writing actually gets me cheered up. But I know if I set for long enough, I start getting like low energy. So I make a point of, I've been using the Forest app, and I set it for like 45 minutes of focus time. So I can't just scroll or do anything else. I'll just get my writing done. And after that 45 minutes, even if I'm on a roll, I will make a point of standing up and stretching and getting the blood flowing, or even playing a upbeat song like Savage or Baby Shark, or just something that's got like a pop-in beat that'll keep even so, I wish I could listen to music while I was writing, but I find that it is too distracting, and especially words, words in there. I can't do it. I can't do it. It draws my attention too much. And I mean, if I have one song on like full on repeat, yes, I could probably do it, because then it becomes like background. Or I do Brain FM, actually gets me into writer's mode, into focus mode. I do mild caffeine. If I'm really feeling low, I'll do like green teas. That's not exciting, but sniffing peppermint, it sounds like it might be illegal, but it's not. I get some essential oil peppermint, and I have a bracelet with lava rocks, and I guess they are porous enough so that they will absorb the essential oils. And so I put like a few drops of the essential oil on my lava rocks, and I wear that around. And then people must think I'm weird, but I'll be like, it got some energy, yay. So, and peppermint's one of the good ones. Eucalyptus, there's a few, like lemon, orange. Eating it, the forest. Forest is an excellent app. I highly recommend that. Because what happens is when you're doing forest, it blocks you, but also it does something good for the world. If you get enough coins, I guess they will plant a real life tree. I'm not quite there yet, but they will plant a tree in the forest. But if you click out, then you kill your tree, and they do not plant a tree in the forest. So I take that, like, I guess I'm more worried about taking care of the tree than I am about looking at my Facebook. So yay. Okay, so after writing nonstop, I think I've been working on a really hardcore edit since the beginning of April. This is my first like break, and the most exciting thing that I want to do is write. So you guys take a break from your writing ever? Like, do you ever? Because I can't. I like, when I'm done with one project, I either want to get into a new one, or I want to outline the new one. I don't know. It's kind of obsessive, a little obsessive, but it makes me happy. So I guess I'm not going to judge myself, but I do need some downtime. Ooh, I didn't tell you. This is exciting. I'm sorry I'm all over the place, but because I finished cadet, I gave myself a 1 week limit. I gave myself until the 15th. And because I hit my goal, I'm getting a Star Trek Discovery t-shirt. I've already ordered it. Hopefully it'll be here by next week, and I will wear it, and I will show you guys, because I'm so freaking excited. I mean, I usually don't buy myself just things just to have them, but cool nerdy t-shirts and Star Trek Discovery, which I really love. In fact, I'm really seriously considering doing a like a review of that on my YouTube channel another time. So we got more. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's what sometimes you need to figure out your story. Like, getting the character stuff is super important. That's actually what I wasn't really, when I was writing the 200 words, it was more my main character of the short story's background, because once I know their name, which is very important to me, for some reason, I visualize them very strongly. Then I start thinking about their history and what caused them to be in this spot where they're going to have stress put on them, and where they're going to have conflict. And I mean, but you have to know where they're coming from, in my mind, to be able to write good conflict for them. 820 minutes is another like super duper. That is my nano pace. I mean, honestly, when I'm like killing it, I get 800 words. I can do a lot when I'm doing dictation, but just writing, I'd say maybe I could do 500 in 30 minutes. And 1,000 in an hour is pretty much my average if I'm not dictating. If I'm really on a roll, I can really get going. But yeah, next week, I'm hoping to do this again if you guys are having a good time. I'm actually getting work done, and I'm enjoying, chatting with y'all. My next thing, I don't know. Do you guys want to do another 20-minute? Do we have? Yay! You should get yourself a treat. I think what I did for the first few years of my writing career, I've been writing seriously since 2008, and I just power through. And I'm like, okay, that was your job. You got it done, and move on to the next project. And the process itself is so gratifying that I never thought of rewarding myself, but it has a whole nother dimension to how much fun it is. It's like when you go to work and you actually get paid for it, but it's actually fun work. So not only do I have the enjoyment of doing the work itself, but I have a nice little pop of joy that will hopefully get in my head. They say like you can rewire your brain so that you associate finishing a project with something fun or good happening. Not just because I think writing is such a long process. If you're writing novels, it's such a long process that you get so few wins. Unless you're doing like fan fiction, you're getting constant feedback from your audience, which I have done. But when you write novels, it's taking me 1.5 years to get this novel done. And I don't have any feedback. I don't really have any positive reinforcement. So doing something like getting a really cool nerdy t-shirt or buying yourself a good coffee and, or something that just tickles your fancy, like new shoes or, it doesn't have to be expensive, just something that you normally wouldn't do for yourself. Just make the exception. Oh, no. I don't know if you see him. It's Oliver. He's awake. Hopefully he will ignore me, but we'll see. Oh, that's fascinating. What genre are you working on? Or is it one of those mixed things? I tell you what, those old, I call them under the bed projects. When you, in the old days, used to print out your things and then you would just, oh, this is not good enough and kick it under the bed kind of novel or back of the closet novel. Oh, True Heist. I love heists. I couldn't write it. I guess I do put elements of mystery in my books, but it takes some good analytical thinking to be able to write something with those kind of plots. I think it has to, for the audience, I don't know what the tropes are exactly for that, but I know it has to be, it's got to be twisty turny. It's got to have some action. So good on you. Let me know when it's done. I would love to see it out there. I don't know if everyone here is an indie writer. I just assume everyone's an indie writer and hopes to publish their books on Amazon and other places. But if you're hoping for traditional, I worked for traditional, or I worked at getting a deal with traditional for a very long time, until I had an agent tell me that this is very good. I love your writing, but I don't know how to sell it. And I sat there going, well, if it's very good and it's a good story and it's good writing, then damn, I'm going to sell it. And it's done. My books have done fairly well. I wouldn't say I'm breaking even yet or anything, because it takes a lot of money to kind of ramp up an indie publishing company. And I'm learning about marketing and the whole enchilada of that. There's a whole world of learning the ropes of indie publishing. But anyways, I digress yet again. I am with you, Angelicasassy. Let's do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Let's do one more 20-minute-er, and that'll be our last one. That'll take us to about 1.5 hours. All right. Get your word processors ready. Crack them knuckles. Shake it out. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Take a big swig of whatever you're drinking. And go. Okay. Oh, the fastest 20 minutes in my life ever. I am actually at 500 words of the story that I don't have plotted yet. But it is mostly planning words, so it makes me excited. It is actually a fun story. It's going to be really interesting. How'd y'all do? Leave it in the comments. Even if you're watching this at a later time. Oh, go Anna. 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 Oliver's doing a dance for you too. Well, like I said, I did total of 500 for the stream, so that was another 200-ish. 250, 300. I didn't keep good track. But it was a really productive time period, and I really enjoyed spending time with y'all. If you enjoy live streams, consider giving me a like and subscribe to my channel. I've been doing these weekly, and I do other videos on how-tos and marketing and nerdy things such as Picard and Star Trek Discovery, and maybe Hamilton's coming out. Who knows? I like to get into the nerd deeply. It was really fun writing with y'all. Please, if I turn this off before you can get your final tally, leave it in the comments when it goes up on YouTube. I'd love to give you a little cheer and a shout out next week too. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. And outlining, there we go. Outlining is great because I count those words. That's production. That is getting you to where you need to be. So it's a win. Anything that gives me focus time is a win when it comes to writing. So yay for outlining. Technically, I think the way I outline is just word vomit. I just kind of put every little snippet of dialogue I hear in my head, every image. I get a lot of images, like a movie playing in my head, and I write that in, and I try. That's why books take me so long, probably, because I don't fully outline them. And you can't afford that kind of time. I probably need to learn how to outline better. I've read every plotting book in the world, and I still end up doing a big plotsing or plantsing. I'm both. I do a little plotting and mostly pantsing. Well, I'm happy that everyone got something done tonight. Get the energy up and keep the momentum going today. Just have a tea and just keep this motivation ball rolling. And if you need another dose, which you will by next week, I'll be back at 4 p.m. next Saturday. I look forward to seeing you, and right on, right now. Bye.